Street Fighter has always been more than just fists and fireballs. At its heart, it's a series about conflict between strength and weakness, justice and corruption, order and chaos. Every rivalry tells a story. Ryu and Sagat clash over the meaning of power. Chun-Li and Guile fight against evil for justice and personal revenge. But few battles are as philosophical or as supernatural as the one between Bison, or Vega as he's known in Japan, and Rose. They're not simply rivals, they're two sides of the same soul. Bison, the embodiment of destruction and control, and Rose, the guiding light that stands against him. Their battle isn't just physical, it's existential, a war over what power should be, and who has the right to wield it. So what is the true nature of their connection, and how did this strange, spiritual link shape their destinies, and the fate of the world around them? Bison isn't just evil, he's the very embodiment of domination. As the ruthless leader of Shadowloo, Bison embraces psycho power, a force drawn from fear, hatred, and destruction. To wield it, he cast aside all good within himself, murdering his former master, a wielder of soul power, splitting his soul in the process. What remained was a being who viewed life, and even his own body, as disposable tools in his pursuit of immortality. His ambition isn't just to conquer the world, but to transcend it, transferring his consciousness into host bodies to escape death and extend his grip over the world. His war is not just one of conquest, it's a philosophical rejection of balance, empathy, and humanity itself.
Round 1.
During the events of the Alpha series, Bison is at the peak of his power, physically, mentally, and militarily. Obsessed with achieving immortality, he begins searching for the perfect vessel to house his psycho power once his current body inevitably breaks down. That search leads him to Ryu, whose disciplined mind and powerful body make him the perfect host. But in his pursuit, Bison also crosses paths with Rose, a mystic warrior who wields soul power, the direct antithesis of psycho power. In the past, Bison and Rose both studied soul power under the same master, but Bison craved more. He uncovered a darker path, the destructive force known as psycho power. When their master tried to stop him, Bison killed him, severing his final ties to any lingering humanity. But the bond between Rose and Bison runs deeper than shared teachings. They share something more profound, a soul. Sometime after their battle, Bison cheats death by briefly taking control of Rose's body, using their deep connection to merge their spirits together. By the time of Street Fighter II, however, Bison has acquired a new, albeit weaker, body, thanks to the tireless work of Shadowloo scientists, through the use of horrific experiments, no doubt. Now restored and operating from the shadows, he announces a new World Warrior tournament, luring the strongest fighters from across the globe. But this isn't about sport, it's a trap. He intends to identify potential threats and either eliminate or control them. It's during this period that he comes into conflict with the likes of Chun-Li, Guile, and Ryu once again. But then the unexpected happens. Akuma intervenes. Yes, in some versions of the story, Akuma strikes down Bison with a devastating Shungoku Satsu, erasing his physical form instantly. But Bison's legacy and his spirit aren't so easily destroyed.
Round 2.
In Street Fighter IV, Bison returns from the shadows. By now he's mastered the ability to leap from body to body, keeping his essence alive no matter the cost. One such vessel, Seth, is engineered to be the perfect synthetic body, until it develops sentience and turns against its creator. And Bison's list of enemies grows with the introduction of Sea Viper and Juri Han. The latter lost her parents and left eye to Shadowloo, though she herself has a penchant for violence, employing extreme and sadistic methods to reach her goals. In a deadly game of deception, she manipulates both Seth and Bison in order to take control of SIN, the Shadowloo Intimidation Network, though she is unable to take out Bison in the end. Sea Viper, on the other hand, is a CIA agent, working undercover in Sin. She seeks to undermine the organization and collect valuable data for her investigation. The gadgets she wields attract the attention of Bison, though he is unable to get his hands on them.
Sorry, but it's not mine to give.
As Street Fighter V unfolds, Bison's current body begins to decay. In order to continue his twisted legacy, he has kidnapped and attempted to manipulate new vessels, Ed and Falk, two children who have inherited psycho power. but they have no desire to become his puppets, escaping to form their own organization. Bison enacts his final plan, Operation Chains, a project headed up by Shadowloo's newest second-in-command, Fong, who orders the creation of the Black Moons, spaceborne weapons meant to plunge the world into chaos, feeding Bison's power and pushing him towards godhood. But it all unravels when various Street Fighters from around the globe gather together to fight him. Charlie Nash, recently resurrected, sacrifices himself to weaken Bison's form, and Ryu, having conquered the darkness within himself, destroys Bison's physical body once and for all. Shadowloo falls, and Bison vanishes, but his shadow remains.
Round 3.
Years later, in the world of Street Fighter VI, a new figure emerges, one who dares to call himself Bison. Is he a clone, or something far worse? A piece of the original Soul reborn. His true nature remains a mystery, but his presence is unmistakable. The eyes, the power, the ambition. It's as if the darkness never left. Even in death, Bison's will finds a way back. Evil like his doesn't vanish, it simply waits. M. Bison's legacy is one of power without limit and ambition without restraint. Through science, sorcery, and sheer will, he twisted his very soul to escape the bonds of mortality. Each game sees him return stronger and more dangerous. To truly understand Bison, we have to examine what he tried to erase, the part of himself he cast aside, the light that refused to fade. That light lives on in Rose, the psychic warrior who stands not only against Bison's evil, but embodies everything he abandoned in his pursuit of ultimate power. Their connection goes beyond rivalry, it's metaphysical, a battle not just for survival, but for the soul they both share. While M. Bison stands as a towering symbol of chaos and control, Rose is his radiant opposite, an enigmatic fortune teller who walks the line between mysticism and mortality. She wields soul power, a force of spiritual clarity that exists to balance out the destructive energy of psycho power. Rose trained under the same master as Bison, who the dictator murdered in order to harness that destructive power. But her role in the story is more than just that of a protector or prophet. Rose is deeply entwined with Bison's fate, because she isn't merely his enemy, she's a part of him.
Round 1.
In the Street Fighter Alpha series, Rose isn't just a fortune teller, she's a guardian of psychic equilibrium. Her connection to soul power allows her to sense disturbances in the fabric of the world, and what she sees terrifies her. A doomsday looms on the horizon, one tied to the growing influence of psycho power, and its source, M. Bison. But Rose isn't the only one drawn into Bison's growing shadow. Guy, the Bushinryu ninja and heir to a lineage of guardians, also becomes involved, sensing the disruption Bison's presence causes in the world. While his mission initially centers on confronting threats to Metro City, his path crosses with Rose's in a way that hints at a deeper understanding between them. Both are warriors fighting for balance, one through psychic intuition, the other through inherited discipline. Though Guy is initially worried that Rose is risking her life by confronting Bison alone, their battle proves her strength. Recognizing her resolve, he steps aside, but not without a warning. Their brief alliance in Alpha lays the groundwork for a quiet but meaningful connection. Rose confronts Bison in a clash of opposing forces, soul power against psycho power, in a brutal, high-stakes battle. She emerges victorious, but not without cost. With a final, chilling revelation, Bison unveils the truth. Their connection runs deeper than rivalry. They are two halves of the same soul. Exhausted, Rose collapses, but she is not alone. Guy, sensing something was wrong, had followed her. He finds her unconscious and ensures she receives help. Although she's won the fight, Bison cheats death once again. Exploiting their spiritual link, he temporarily possesses Rose's body, buying time until Shadowloo's scientists can create a new vessel for him. When Rose awakens in a hospital sometime later, the memories of Bison's possession are gone, buried in her subconscious. But later the horror resurfaces when Bison taunts her with the truth, the dark deeds he committed while inhabiting her form. It's a haunting reminder of the cost of their connection, and a foreshadowing of the spiritual war still to come. In Street Fighter IV, Rose delves deeper into the mystic arts, attempting to locate Bison's next incarnation before it's too late. A cryptic tarot reading draws her attention to a card she didn't expect, the Fool, a symbol of one beginning a journey with great potential, but unaware of the trials ahead. This reading leads her to Ryu, a fighter wrestling with the Satsu no Hado. Though he stands on the edge of darkness, she believes he may be the one destined to defeat Bison once and for all. Guided by this belief, she begins influencing events from the sidelines, subtly nudging Ryu away from the abyss. Rose understands how uncertain the future is when it comes to defeating Bison though, as does Guy. Their earlier connection deepens into a quiet trust. In his arcade story, Guy saves an unconscious Rose from the clutches of Bison, who had caught her unawares while over the defeated body of Seth, one of Bison's genetically engineered replacement bodies. Guy stays with Rose until she regains consciousness. This moment reveals a rare vulnerability from Rose, not just the risk of failure, but the quiet reliance on another warrior to carry the burden if she falls. Their shared understanding reflects a mutual respect between two fighters who walk the edge of the physical and the mystical.
Guy, just let me pass!
Rose begins to sense that her path can no longer be walked alone. Enter Manat, a gifted young fortune teller and Rose's apprentice. Though quirky and playful, Manat possesses immense potential and a deep spiritual awareness. Under Rose's guidance, she begins to unravel the mysteries of soul power and its place in the cosmic balance. Their relationship is more than teacher and student, it's symbolic of Rose's evolution. No longer fighting only to stop Bison, Rose now seeks to ensure the next generation understands what's at stake. In Street Fighter V, Rose senses a new, strange energy in the world, one that doesn't match psycho power or soul power. She seeks out Oro, a wise hermit whose ageless insight helps her refine her vision. Their conversation points her towards G, a mysterious figure claiming to be president of the world. Upon meeting him, Rose is shaken by what she sees. Visions of chaos, control, and a dark future unfolding beneath G's confident rhetoric. Rose begins to understand a deeper truth. There are larger forces at play, and the future may be shaped by something far more cryptic than psycho power.
Round 3.
Following Bison's downfall and the collapse of Shadowloo, Rose doesn't fade into obscurity. Her sense of duty only deepens. The world is now a breeding ground for new threats, some known, others hidden behind layers of secrecy and deception. She dedicates herself to guiding the next generation, and watching over the balance between light and dark. And what of Ed and Falk, children raised to hold Bison's tainted spirit, wielders of psycho power, now leading their own organization? Well, perhaps Rose sees a chance to correct past sins, and maybe she will be the one to free them from their cursed origins. Rose represents hope born from sacrifice. She was never meant to bear such a burden, yet she's become a bulwark against the darkness that created her. From Bison to G, Akuma to Ryu, her journey is one of foresight, balance, and quiet resilience. Rose's actions show that true strength doesn't come from domination, but from clarity and purpose. She is no longer just a fighter, she is the keeper of the world's soul, battling threats both psychic and cosmic before they can plunge reality into another spiral of ruin. And if she's unable to do that, well, there's always the option to go back.
From zero.
At its core, the battle between Bison and Rose is not just a fight between two people, it's a metaphysical war between two opposing ideologies. Bison is a tyrant who believes power must be taken, no matter the cost. He feeds on hatred, fear, and chaos. Through psycho power, he amplifies those emotions into a violent force of will, one that bends reality to his domination. Rose, by contrast, is a protector. She sees power not as a means of control, but as a tool for insight, healing, and preservation. Her soul power channels clarity and balance, illuminating the future, revealing hidden truths, and helping others navigate the darkness around them. Where Bison builds empires on suffering, Rose seeks to dismantle them through understanding. But here lies the tragedy. This is not a fight between equals. Though soul power and psycho power stem from the same spiritual root, they are not balanced in strength. Psycho power is volatile, aggressive, and ever-expanding. Soul power by nature is restrained and defensive. Bison's energy manifests in teleportation, flight, overwhelming strength, and most terrifying of all, bodily possession, allowing him to leap between vessels and prolong his existence indefinitely. Rose's soul power, though potent, operates within psychic limitations. She can foresee potential futures, absorb attacks, and unravel lies, But her abilities aren't designed to crush opponents, they're meant to illuminate truth and resist darkness. Against a foe like Bison, who fights without limits or morality, she's almost always at a disadvantage. This imbalance reflects their origin. Bison cast away all good, becoming pure aggression, while Rose emerged from what little light remained. He is raw force without restraint, she is refinement without overwhelming might. It's not a fair fight, but it's a necessary one. In every encounter, Rose stands not to win, but to resist. To remind the world that even in the shadow of overwhelming darkness, a single light can still shine through. Rose stands as the conscience Bison abandoned, the soul he tried to erase. Their battles aren't just dramatic, they're symbolic. A struggle to define what kind of force shapes the world, unrelenting domination or enlightened resistance. And even when Rose falters, she leaves behind something Bison can never destroy: hope. The belief that others will rise in her place to carry on the fight. The battle between light and darkness is eternal, but the story doesn't end here. If you enjoyed diving into the secrets of Rose and Bison, let your inner soul power shine. Hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives and character studies, and tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Until next time, keep your mind sharp, your spirit strong, and never stop searching for the truth hidden in the shadows.